Many battles and events helped the cause of the Great Revolutionary War, but there are three that I think are most important to winning the Great War. Some facts before we start. Americans were really unorganized. They weren't necessarily an army yet. Also, they were fighting against one of the strongest armies in the world. First, the alliance with the French. In 1776, Benjamin Franklin went to France. He wanted support from the French to help the cause of the Revolution. The U.S. Army wasn't strong enough to prove to the French that they were not supporting a helpless cause. Of course, Ben had to tell lies to the French that would convince them to help Americans. Some pros to the alliance with the French. The alliance supplied troops, ships, and some supplies. A con to the alliance with the French, in one desperate time, the troops were ready to use the brand new French weapons. But they were duds. The U.S. Army scrambled to recover. Second, Valley Forge was very important to the American Revolution. On December 1777 through March 1778, the winter at Valley Forge was a very important, significant winter. With a low of 8 degrees Fahrenheit, many inconveniences were troubling the army. Often it was too cold to go outside, so some used their bathrooms in their cabins. With the sickness spreading rampantly, Commander-in-Chief George Washington had vaccinated the army with smallpox, with his own funds. Because of the lack of supplies, some had to wrap their feet in clothes. And also because of the lack of supplies, they had to eat fire cakes. Flour and water, baked over an open fire, mostly made on a dirty shovel. Many wrapped their feet in clothes because of the lack of supplies. The winter at Valley Forge had taken its toll on the army, until a mysterious teacher came from Europe, von Steuben, a figure that was banished from many other armies, but von Steuben had made a very good impression on the U.S. Army. Steuben taught the Continentals to use a bayonet or a musket with a knife at the end, and had taught military formations that would change the U.S. forever. Some pros to Valley Forge. Valley Forge gave the Continentals military tactics that were vital to win the war. Some cons to Valley Forge. Some people were lost in the cold, and some came out unhealthy.
3 is a magic number.
Cornwallis stationed his army in Yorktown. Washington learned that this was his chance to capture the Southern Army. George began to approach the city with the French troops. Cornwallis looked to escape by the sea, but 7 French trading ships had blocked the pass. Cornwallis was trapped in Yorktown. He wrote letters to General Clinton for reinforcements. After many letters, Clinton finally sent troops, but it was little too late. By rifle, cannon, and mortar, George Washington rained down on Yorktown. The British finally surrendered about 7,500 troops. After Yorktown, the British gave up and were raised the white flag to the Americans. Some pros to the Yorktown. The Continentals won the war. Some cons to Yorktown. 88 soldiers were killed and 301 wounded.